GolfNewsRI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Golf News Podcast. I'm Joe Calabro, Rich Capali alongside. A beautiful Thursday today. Unbelievable weather for the month of April. Rich and I just got off the golf course. Both played decent. I mean, mostly terrible, but there were some flashes of brilliance. Rich just missed an eagle putt. I thought he made it. I have the thing on video. I was like, this could go friggin' viral. Let's go. And he missed the putt. So thank you, Rich. But great day. Great day, obviously amazing. I mean, unbelievable weather for the month of April is not what I was expecting. Although when we had that 80-degree day in February, I kind of thought, well, maybe it's fine.
Yeah, we usually have that one stretch in March that's like 65 degrees, but this is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get into some of our golf round. It was quite a day at the King, and I'm looking forward to Friday when I play my first round of the year at Kirkbride. So I'll let you know how the 17th green is. I'm sure it'll be as impossible as it was before. So,
well, my miss is right, and there's bunkers everywhere on the right now. So
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow is going to be another beautiful afternoon, or Friday, whatever. So anyway, thank you. Anyway, great day today. First off, obviously, the Golf News Podcast is presented by our good friends at Link Strings. That's the perfect weather for Link Strings, either the back nine or the front nine or the original, but whichever you prefer. Put it on ice. Put a package of them in your golf cart, whatever you need. Obviously, this is great Link Strings weather. So thank you to Link Strings for their continued support. Check out Link Strings at country clubs and liquor stores near you. It's great in the can. It's great if you put it in a glass with ice. Whatever floats your boat is about that time. So good luck to them this golf season as they continue to grow, and maybe they'll even have a 19th hole drink coming soon. You never know. But anyway, well, I guess they're all 19th hole drinks. So there's that. So our golf round today was quite fun. I crushed some irons. Rich hit an amazing tee shot on 2. Then he hit like a 250-yard. What was that? A 3-wood?
Yeah, 3-wood. Yeah,
hit high onto the green, unbelievably. Just missed the putt. That was by far his highlight of the round. It was the first 5 holes. You had your head up your ass.
Oh Jesus! I had the shanks like a bastard.
And somehow he snapped out of it. A little liquid help.
Liquid help. Yeah.
A quick lesson from Peter in the bar, and you're all set.
Right.
So that was this morning. The King was packed pretty much. I mean, it wasn't when we got there, but it certainly was when we were leaving. So another great day there, and a big day today because today is the 3-year anniversary of GolfNewsRI. We launched 3 years ago today, so it's approximately the 3-year anniversary of the Golf Dudes Podcast, give or take a few weeks or so. I don't know how far away we were from doing this and with that, but either way, it's a 3-year anniversary. So just for me real quick, I don't know if you had anything to add, but just for me, thanks to everybody for all your continued support of our content. Anyone that's read an article or written an article, watched the podcast, shared an article, follows us on social media, whatever it may be. Big heartfelt thank you to all of you. We greatly appreciate you following us along on this ride, and we're looking forward to big things coming in year 4. A lot more video, a lot better coverage, all kinds of stuff. So looking forward to that. But just for me, a heartfelt thank you to everybody for following us along, and we're looking forward to the years to come. I don't know if you have anything to add on that. But
no, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Thank you to all the followers and the support. I know a lot of the parents have been getting on board with us, meaning mainly Joe, because he puts the stuff together, but for the high school golf and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate the support, and I'm excited to see what's coming next.
Absolutely. It's a really exciting time of year. The weather's nice. People are playing. High school season is underway. Amateur season is underway. We have Mike Hamilton and Bobby Leopold playing down at the Terracotta Invitational this week in Naples, Florida. I don't know if you've seen any of their social media posts, but the course looks immaculate. It's one of the most prestigious amateur tournaments in the country, and they're both in it. It was previously won by Justin Thomas. Ricky Fowler's played in it. A few other guys. It's on their website, but a few other big name players have played in it. But JT won it back in 2007 when he was a child. So a big tournament for them as the Hamilton and Leopold World Tour continues. They played in the Gasparilla. Now they're in the Terracotta. Eventually they'll play in Rhode Island tournaments at some point, but until then,
we'll see him maybe by the 4th of July.
Yeah, but until then, they're gonna live it up down south, I guess. So good luck to them. We'll obviously have coverage throughout the weekend. It's a big tournament. Again, it's obviously, but if you look at the pictures on social media, it looks like the course is amazing. So it would be exciting to watch. And a couple other things. Davis Chatfield's on the Korn Ferry Tour today, round 1. He has 2 tournaments left on his exemption. Right now, he is very much outside of the reshuffle. So hopefully he plays good these final 2 tournaments. He literally just teed off as of this taping within the last hour, so there's not really a ton to report yet. So hopefully he plays well this week and gets himself some momentum and at least gets him some confidence going forward. But he's got 2 tournaments left on his exemption. Will Dixon, obviously, as we reported, missed the cut on the Monday queue for the Korn Ferry Tour. How about this, Rich? Will was on the KFT Monday queue this past Monday, obviously, and he teed off in the afternoon. The morning, guys go out and they post 63 and 64. So he literally has to go out in the afternoon and shoot like 7 or 8 on the putt, and that's just to get into a playoff.
That's just defeat.
I mean, he goes, as I've been talking. Obviously, we have the Will Dixon Journal. The next one will be coming soon. It's really good. His travel to Texas, the whole thing, and he says it was really hard knowing that you have to go out and shoot, 8 under just to possibly get into a playoff for a spot in the tournament.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. The morning scores are crazy. He obviously didn't play as well as he would have liked. He would finish 2 under, but he was kind of behind the 8 ball. To begin with.
Could you imagine having to shoot 6 or 7 under just to be in a playoff? I mean,
just to be in a playoff.
That's
crazy.
To
be in a playoff. 7 under would have got him to a playoff. A 3, I think it was.
I mean, it's almost a perfect. A perfect round would be 18 birdies, but like that's almost a perfect round of golf just to make a playoff.
Just to make a playoff.
I mean, I think 6 or 7 under is an almost perfect round in any professional's career. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just being behind the 8 ball like that, and having not even
teed off,
and not even had teed off yet. You know what I mean? That's just crazy.
Yeah, those scores were in the clubhouse before he teed off.
Could you that's like oh shit! Like before I even take a tee shot, I'm already screwed.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I talked to him. We did the call yesterday, and I told him this. I really appreciate him taking the time to do this, and the conversation is actually really fun. Obviously, he's a pro golf. Obviously, he's not on the PGA Tour yet. We understand that, but he's still a pro, and he's still grinding away and doing these different things. And I said, what is the mindset when that happens? And he basically said, well, 2 things. One, he knew the course was playing easy, right? It wasn't a difficult course. People were going low. There was a 1 or 2 63s out there. A couple of guys shot 64, which would have been a playoff. So he knew that the scoring was there, but it's also like you're almost counting holes. Because every hole you don't birdie is 1 less hole.
I mean, it's almost like a bogey. If you par, it may as well be a bogey. You're just falling further and further behind.
And every par 5 you don't birdie, for these guys I'm talking about, is like 2 holes because
of course
these guys, these pros, as we know, we watched them, we talked to some of them, whatever. When they don't birdie a par 5, it's almost like a bogey because they feel like they should go out
on most courses. Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a bad break for him. Obviously, maybe in that case he would have preferred to go off in the morning and at least been with those guys that were shooting those numbers. You would have felt better about it, but. When you go up, when you want to last tee times off, which he likes being off in the afternoon on those Monday cues. But when you have to post 8 under, 7 under just for a playoff, I mean, that's tough. It's tough.
It's so
to do that,
demoralizing.
even for them, even for those guys. So, but that's okay. He's at another Monday Q this coming week, and we'll see what happens. So, Monday Qs are no joke. It's not easy. That's one thing I've learned through following them all these years. It is not easy. So that is that. The other quick thing I wanted to hit on was Challenge Cup. The Challenge Cup Championship took place, obviously, on Monday and Tuesday of this week. We had a great video of it. Parents loved it. The kids are all sharing it to their Instagram stories, which is a big deal, obviously. Congrats to LaSalle for winning the championship by 2 shots. And obviously Max led the way, but Olivia and Charles Melvin and Joe Early played well. And also the individual side of things, congrats to Kylie Eaton and Lily Dessel for tying for second. Again, these are kids in this playing this tournament from all over the Northeast. So there was a Connecticut people, there was a couple of kids from New Hampshire, Massachusetts. So it wasn't just Rhode Island as far as the individuals go. So congrats to Kylie Eaton and Lily Dessel. They were the leaders for the girls, and it was a T2 finish. Adriana Eaton was T4. Olivia Williams was in the mix as well. And on the boys' side, Mark Roberts of Prout finished T2, and Max Jackson finished in a tie for 4th. He made the turn on Tuesday at 1 under par, and the wind was wild. The wind was crazy. It was warm, but the wind was causing all kinds of havoc. So it's great to be at Alpine on Tuesday. They've cut down a lot of trees. I mean, it was amazing how different some of the holes look without trees everywhere. Maybe that's why the wind was such a factor, but because the wind was just
Probably, yeah.
So it was crazy how, I mean, Alpine looked like it was in decent shape. It's like I said, they cut down a lot of trees. It was amazing. But anyway, so congrats to those people, and we're looking forward to high school golf season getting started within the next few days. It should be fascinating, to say the least. Obviously, a little bit of history on the line, and obviously some great golf as well. A lot of these kids are committing to colleges or have committed to colleges, so that's all kinds of things to look forward to. So that's what I have on that, on the kind of the local level. As far as things coming up that I can inform you about, obviously we're going to keep cranking out videos. The Will Dixon Journal is coming out probably either Friday or Saturday at the latest. Just depending on how long it takes me to transcribe it. Thankfully, there's an app for that, but you still have to go through it because it's not 100% accurate. And we'll be playing some more golf. Like I said, I'm excited to play Kirkbride on Friday. Playing again on Sunday during my fiance's bridal shower. Hopefully the weather holds out. I don't understand the weather apps because they all say different things. So we're just gonna go with it. If it's really that bad, we'll drag our asses back inside. But we'll see what happens with that. The Masters obviously just happened. Obviously, ended on Sunday. John around 1. I did a winners and losers column, but Rich, I don't know if you had anything to weigh in on with the Masters. What your thoughts were of the tournament? I thought it was amazing that the rain, as much rain as they got.
It was gorgeous on Sunday. It was so nice on Sunday. It was crazy.
What was amazing was how great the course looked. Like the scores weren't crazy. It wasn't like a pitch and putt.
Yeah.
Like it still was challenging. There were still mistakes made or whatever. That was one of the things that I wrote it. But that was one of the things that amazed me, is how well that course. I mean, it just shows technology, I guess, but how well that course held up. Because I remember when Rory won. What was it? Was it the U.S. Open at Congressional? Where it was he literally like,
I think so.
It was like a pitch and putt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I don't really have much to take away. I'm a little salty at Brooks because he choked in the final round, but whatever. Like we said earlier, pretty much Liv dominated the Masters. I mean, three top 5 finishes, one of which who's a 50-something-year-old old guy,
52.
52-year-old dude
who hasn't done anything, by the way, on the Live Tour. Phil, he's been like, I don't know if he was following the Live Tour. I don't know how closely he followed, but he's been like irrelevant.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, other than Brooks choking and Liv dominating, there was pretty much no. I mean, Rahm played lights out. He had some crazy stuff happen to him. Like what he teed off on Thursday and he made 4. I mean, triple bogey or a double bogey on 4, on 1, and then bounced back to under par, and then just chipped away at Brooks, and Brooks couldn't make it happen. Now, I think it has a little bit to do with the end of round 3 and the beginning of round 4 starting on the same day. That probably screwed everybody up.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, it was an enjoyable Masters.
Everyone's pointing to it, but the turning point was, I think, at the last hole of round 3, Koepka missed the birdie putt.
Yeah,
and
yep.
Rahm made his, and that cut
It was
the
a double.
lead
It's
from,
a swing. Yep.
I think, from 3 to 2 or something like that, whatever it might have been. Everyone's saying that was kind of the turning point, because now instead of going to the final round with like a 4-shot lead, Koepka's going in with like a 2-shot lead, which is obviously significantly different in that atmosphere like that. But yeah, Brooks obviously didn't play well, but it was good to see him in that spot, and hopefully he's back. I mean, the last time we saw him was in the Full Swing documentary, and he looked absolutely miserable. And you sent me that meme. I think it was you.
That's why he didn't. That's why he took the live. Why he took the live money, because he didn't know if he was ever going to get back. So he's like, screw it, I'll just get paid.
Right. And he said that even in his press conference after. He said, if I was completely healthy, it would have been a tougher decision.
He would have stayed. He would have stayed. No doubt in my mind.
That's what it sounded like. That's what he said. That's what it sounded like. So the Masters passed us. I have to say, I've never felt more negative about Tiger's future. There's really almost nothing positive to take out of that. And I'm not sure.
No, man, I'm certain he's almost on the verge of retirement. I mean, he just, unless it's 95 degrees and blazing hot, you just can't. He looked fine on Thursday. He looked okay. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot more of him.
No. Yeah, I've never. There was no positives to take away from that. There was literally nothing, not one positive thing you could say about it.
Nope.
And who knows what's even that. They're speculating he might skip the PGA because it's in Rochester, New York. It's not going to be warm up there, in theory. I mean, and then maybe he plays the U.S. Open in Los Angeles Country Club, but again, it's a U.S. Open.
That's going to be fun. The LACC is going to be a fun U.S. Open.
Yeah, and then the British Open is at
Liverpool. Yeah,
Royal Liverpool, which he's won before there, but he's not. Obviously,
yeah, that's not an overly difficult course. Well, obviously, I've never played there, but let me say it's not an overly difficult course.
Yeah,
for those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Relatively speaking, it's not an overly difficult course.
For them,
we would shoot 106 there, but for those guys, it's not overly difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the one I think where he hit 2 iron off every tee, right?
I think so, yeah. Just to carry it down the friggin' fairway.
So that is the Masters recap. Obviously, the RBC this week, a good field given that it's right after the Masters. I know some controversy about Rory dropping out. Live Golf is in Australia next week, so I don't know how that's going to work with TV. I'm assuming that's all going to be recorded. That's going to be one of the
probably. I would assume so. Yeah.
I don't think the CW is going to broadcast that live. I'm sure it could be on the app live. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
But that's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure the Australian people will be excited for it. You have Cam Smith going down there, Mark Leishman on Live, and a few other guys. So they could get a decent crowd. But I think they had a great showing at the Masters. I know they didn't win it, but I still think they had as good of a showing as you could have asked for. 12 out of 18 guys making the cut. I was disappointed with Cam Smith. I thought he was going to show more. Of course, I also bet on him, so that was part of my.
No, it was a good bet. I think it was a great bet. By the way, Dan Snyder is officially selling the Redskins or the Commanders.
Yeah, I saw that for $6 billion. And the biggest news of the day was my Providence College Friars. Garway Duel recommitted to Providence College after decommitting.
What ended up happening to Breed? Did he get released, or was his girlfriend lying, or what?
He was released on bail.
So that means So she never admitted to lying then.
Well, now she's become uncooperative.
Of course.
So he's still suspended. He won't be back on the team.
Probably no.
He's suspended.
It's all on him getting innocent. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah. He was suspended from the school. He's suspended from the team. I don't imagine.
I told you he's going to get expelled from the school. He's not going to be back in school.
No, so, but yeah, so.
But yeah, it's good to see that guy recommit again.
Yeah, he was a big get at the time. I remember when they first announced that he had committed, it was a big deal. Now he's staying with Kim English. So we'll see. It's a long way to go, unfortunately, until the college basketball season. But it's funny. You're so amped up for the Ed Cooley thing and the PC Georgetown game. It's like we have to wait for another 10 months or whatever for that to happen. But obviously, we have golf season in between, so I'm not that disappointed. But you get what I'm saying. Let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back. Maybe we'll do some NHL talk. Because by the time we do our podcast next week, we'll have the playoffs beginning, I presume, and then we'll do some other golf talk, and then we'll wrap this show up. This is the Golf Dudes podcast. Stay tuned. Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Paik.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
When we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National, you could not see 50 yards.
And welcome back to the Golf Dudes podcast. Joe Calabro, Rich Capalia alongside. Again, presented by Link Strengths. Thank you to them. Great weather for Link Strengths. So go to the liquor store, fill up a cooler with ice, hit the golf course, and pound some Link Strengths while you're hitting bombs, as they say, or hellacious seeds, if you prefer.
Hellacious seeds, as Phil says.
So a couple of things real quick. Then last week we did an interview with Michael Callahan about the Chase for a Cure tournament, the 3rd annual Chase for a Cure tournament. It's back at Valley this year, and there you still have spots open for foursomes or sponsorships or whatever you want to do. So we're gonna replay that interview for you in just a couple minutes. But I did tease it, so I do want to give you a quick Bruins thought on the NHL playoffs starting next week. It should be a wild time for sure. We were just talking off the air, quote unquote, about how crazy the first week or two is with triple headers and crazy matchups.
Great.
A quick Bruins thought. You excited for the playoffs? You nervous? Obviously, historic season. They're one of the best teams of all time. But they got to finish the job. That's the
That's it. Like we were just talking about. The only in the East, the only teams I'm worried about is Tampa and the Rangers. Tampa, obviously, they have, last 3 years been insane. Not counting last year, the previous 3 years. They get hot at the right time. They're insane with all the additions that the Rangers got. They get good goaltending. They get hot. That could be an issue. But yeah, I mean, I hope I don't jinx myself. But the Isles could steal one from us. In the first round, if that's who we actually play. Same thing with Florida. Florida could get hot. But yeah, other than that, it's going to be good. I didn't really look at the West yet. Dallas had themselves a hell of a season. And never count out the Avalanche. Obviously, I mean, they have McKinnon and Landeskog.
They also have injuries though.
They should have been the kings of the West. But they McKinnon went down for a while.
Vegas looks good.
Vegas looks good. Dallas has that kid Jason Robertson. He's an absolute freaking stud. But yeah, so I mean, there could be a Cassidy versus the Bruins Stanley Cup on the line here.
That'd be great.
Could you
sports media.
Freaking imagine?
That'd be great for the local sports media.
Bruce coming to the Garden for games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup. Are you shitting me?
Hey, that's what makes the playoffs great. You need storylines in these things, Rangers, Devils,
Man.
Bruins, and whoever.
Yeah, at the Rangers Devils,
thing.
that's going to be a fantastic series. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I'm not really going to say much else about the Bruins because I don't want to jinx them. So
I'm sure. I think they'll be okay in the first round, but
I think so.
they had an all-time great season, obviously. So hopefully, well, not hopefully for them, but if they finish it off, that'd be one of the greatest turnarounds in history. I would think one of the greatest seasons in just all of sports history.
Greatest team in NHL history, probably. I would think.
Yes, I mean,
or close to it.
They certainly be in the conversation. Obviously, you can pick through the rosters and stuff, and you can make arguments here and there. But
yeah,
they certainly be in the conversation for sure. Obviously, the Celtics tip off on Saturday in the playoffs against the lowly Atlanta Hawks. That's gonna be such a boring series. I was really kind of hoping for the Miami to win. At least there's some like juice there, like history.
Dude, they just Miami. I didn't watch any of that. I didn't watch any of the Miami game. The playing game, obviously, but I heard they just didn't have anything.
No. They didn't show up.
No, their fans didn't even show up till the third quarter. I heard.
Yeah, well, that's what happens in Miami. They're too busy. So looking for the NBA post as well. There's some interesting matchups. Looking for the Knicks and Cavs should be good. The Phoenix Suns and Clippers is going to be could be a tremendous series. Durant versus Westbrook.
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, that whole thing. So that
how about Schroeder? How about Schroeder hitting the three at the buzzer, and then staring down the bench?
Yeah, and then Anthony Davis following the other guy on the other end to force overtime. What an idiot!
Yep.
People predicting the Lakers to make a run, so would be something. Never count LeBron, but I don't think he has enough around him. It feels like
no, I don't think so either.
But you never know. So those are our playoff thoughts. But the NFL draft's in a couple of weeks, but we'll worry about that later. I don't get that excited for it. And we're ready for golf season. So with that said, I want to toss this interview now with Michael Callahan of the Chase for a Cure tournament. We aired it last week on its own. We figured we'd give the tournament more attention as he's still looking for some sponsors, looking for groups. The tournament is back at Valley this year. So a great golf course. I think it's on May 22nd, I believe. I personally won't be there because I'm getting married in a few days after that, so I'm not sure that'd be a great look. But
yeah, I'm not. I won't be there either because I have to go to your wedding. I'm in your wedding, and I'm the previous week I'm going to be in Florida, so I can't take too many. Was that a Monday? I can't take too much time off till I need to save some of my good faith for the rest of the summer for my golf tournaments and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. So. But we obviously Michael the best of luck with his tournaments, obviously for a great cause. And if you haven't signed up yet, the link is on our website. It's also on their Facebook page as well. So here is the interview with Michael Callahan. Thank you again to everybody for supporting us over the last 3 years. Really appreciate it. We're looking forward to year 4, and that starts pretty much right now. So looking forward to getting the season going. We will see you on the course and around in other random places. You never know. So thanks everybody. Thanks to Rich for your support, and we will talk to you guys next time. This is the Golf Dudes podcast. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week. And welcome back to the Golf Dudes podcast. I'm Joe Calabro, and I'm delighted to be joined for, I believe this is the 3rd year in a row. At least it's the 2nd year in a row, but I think it's the 3rd. Joined by Michael Callahan, who's putting together the 3rd annual Chase for a Cure golf tournament to benefit his son, Chase. And we'll get into that. But Michael, thanks so much for joining us. Excited for another tournament this year, and super pumped. How's things going?
Thanks a lot, Joe. Thanks for having me. It is the 3rd year. So thank you very much for having me here. It's going well so far. Chase is doing awesome.
Now, the tournament Chase for a Cure, again, named after your son, is taking place on May 22nd, 2023, back at Valley Country Club. They were at Crystal Lake last year. They were at Valley the 1st year, and now they're back at Valley, obviously, for the 3rd year. So May 22nd, 2023, obviously, you guys are still accepting people signing up, sponsorships, all that stuff, correct?
Yep, we're still looking for more golfers. We're looking for more sponsors if anyone's interested. Definitely any kind of donations if anyone would be willing to make them. We're looking for all that.
Now, we've gone over this every year. Obviously, we've written about it. We've tried to help you guys promote the event as much as possible. Give us some history about young Chase, and then how's he currently doing? I know I see Facebook photos. He's kind of all over the place now, which is great.
Oh yeah.
But give
So
just a brief history of Chase and where we are now.
sure. Chase is 4 years old now. He was diagnosed in 2018 when he was 5 months old with kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disorder that affects most of his body, along with joints, vascular system, his spine. They call it kyphoscoliotic because the main feature in it is kyphoscoliosis of the spine. So there's a good chance that he will eventually need some kind of fusion surgery of his spine to keep things straight. He also has an issue with his neck called craniocervical instability, so he could possibly need a fusion surgery on his cervical spine as well. But as of right now, he, as I mentioned, he's a 4-year-old. You would think that he's just a typical 4-year-old. You know, he's running around. You wouldn't know any different just by looking at him. He's really doing tremendous. He's in physical therapy once a week at Hasbro Children's Hospital, or at least affiliated with them. And he does aquatic therapy there, so he loves the pool. He's in swimming lessons once a week already. So anything we can do to keep him active, keep him running around the playground, climbing, trying to build that strength is really going to be key for him. And he loves doing it too. So it's just all the fun to watch him.
And golf too. He'll be playing golf.
Oh yeah,
That'd
absolutely. We're
that'd
gonna
be
have
key.
him at Buttonhole. We have him already signed up for the wee putter lessons starting in May. He turns 5 in May, so that's gonna be a big deal. He's already excited. I actually had him out this year at Swansea Country Club at their par 3. So I had him out playing with me one day this year. I played hooky from work one day for it, so that was great. He really enjoyed it.
It's great. Golf presents great bonding time for parents and kids. Obviously, we see it. We saw it today with the Masters Par 3 contest. Jordan Spieth had his kid running around, and so did everybody else. But that's obviously a great thing, and looking forward to Chase having his own foursome pretty soon for his own tournament. He can
That would be phenomenal. I hope he picks up the sport like that, because it'd be a lot of fun for him and I to go out there.
He can raise some of his own money, which would be great. Talk about obviously the benefits from this tournament, or the funds from this tournament benefit the Marfan Foundation. This is such a rare disease, as you talked about before, that Chase has, and not too many people have it in the world, never mind the country. But just talk about that, and talk about the Marfan Foundation. How helpful have they been? How important have they been for you guys?
So, to speak to the rarity of the disease, we'll start there. When he was first diagnosed in 2018, they told us that there was only about 60 other documented cases in literature around the world of this disease.
World, not just the country people, the world.
The world, right? Which most of the cases actually originate in Switzerland for some reason. My wife and I didn't think we had any Swiss blood in us, but apparently we must. So that's the rarity of it. They believe it occurs, or they estimate it occurs in around 1 in 100,000 live births. So we hit the reverse jackpot, if you will. I don't know that we could do it again, but odds are not in our favor. So anyway, it is very rare, but like I said, he's doing tremendous with it. The Marfan Foundation has been awesome. We raise funds for them because they specifically raise money or work with families who deal with connective tissue disorders. Marfan syndrome is another connective tissue disorder, as well as Loeys-Dietz syndrome. They really have a whole grant program, a medical grant program, where they fund other research for connective tissue disorders, as well as they try to help families by connecting them with doctors and medical researchers and just medical providers in other areas that specialize in connective tissue disorders. So they've been integral for us just because they've been able to help us set up a lot of our providers with Boston Children's. So we raise money specifically for their research grant program because it's so rare. We want research to be done to try to find either some sort of intervention or treatment, or hopefully a cure. That's what we raise money for. 100% of the proceeds always go towards that. We as a family do not take any of the money raised by this tournament whatsoever. We are fortunate enough where Chase is doing tremendous to where we don't need it at the moment, and we hope it stays that way. So as long as it does, we want the money to go towards research.
That's awesome. You said this is so rare. Have you guys been able to talk with or Skype with or Zoom with anybody else that is going through this similar thing? Just because it's so rare, it must be. I don't mean this to be mean, but it would be neat to
Yeah,
talk
no,
to somebody like across the world. You know what
it's
I
not
mean?
mean at all, because when you're in this situation, you look for commonality, right? You're looking for someone that's been through it before. And so we are actually part of a Facebook group where there are 10 to 15 other families
Oh wow.
that are diagnosed with this exact same disease. Some of the families originate from Russia or Austria, and some of them are stateside as well. I know there's one case in Wisconsin. There's one in England. So we have a few that we can talk with and kind of interact with to see what they've gone through versus what we've gone through, and try to compare notes, if you will, to try to make things a little easier. So we do have a few similar cases that we can talk with, a few diagnoses that are the same, but it is challenging to find them.
Yeah, well, you said there was only about 60 in the world, so I would think it'd be a tricky situation. But social media just connects everything now, as you know, and as I myself know through doing GolfNewsRI. Just you can connect with so many people on social media that it makes it much easier. If this was 20 or 30 years ago, you'd be in trouble. You'd be in trouble because
Yeah.
there'd be nothing. So
There'd be no
thankfully,
shot.
social
We
media.
wouldn't know anybody. We wouldn't have any kind of resources to be able to find the right doctors or treatment programs for them at all. It's really made things a lot easier to have that kind of access that we do.
Do you find that other people that you talk to, because this interests me, right? Where again, it's obviously a terrible situation, but Chase is doing well, so that's good. But do you find when you talk to other people that have gone through this that they're similar, that situations are maybe not exactly similar to yours, but pretty similar to where you can literally come. I know you said you compare notes, but you can literally like exchange notes like this is going to happen now or this is not going to, things like that.
Yeah.
Are they that similar?
So when we first joined that Facebook group, the woman who runs it is she is affected herself, and she is, I think, somewhere around my age right now. So she told us that around 5 years old is when these kids seem to really hit their stride and get a lot stronger. And I think we've seen that just from our perspective, because Chase is right around that age now, and he's definitely kind of hitting his stride and growing more and getting a little bit stronger. She also mentioned to us that we have to get x-rays on his cervical spine just because of what it turns out that he has. So there are a lot of similarities with these conditions. Just I don't know I don't know enough about the science behind it, but I do know that a lot of the symptoms are very similar. So when you say you can compare notes, you really can between patients.
Is it when you talk to these other people, especially in like other countries like England? Is there something unique? Do you learn something about England being just talk? I mean, I'm sure you just have like, casual conversations.
Yeah,
really
I mean, I
interested in
guess
this
a
kind of
little bit.
stuff.
Like you try to learn a little bit about that person individually. Maybe not about the culture, but maybe about what they like to do. So, for instance, the person that is from England really likes to ride horses, right? And we know that that could be therapeutic for Chase one day because
Oh
it
wow.
could really help his core, right? That could help strengthen his core. So we try to pick up little bits and pieces of information about people and maybe what they like to do, so that way we can extrapolate that into what Chase may or may not be able to do someday in the future.
That's amazing. I think it's fascinating. I mean, obviously, again, a negative situation turning into a positive where now you're meeting all these other people and other families and people that ride horses. Obviously, we know that horses can be therapeutic, amazingly enough. When I was at another media company, we had a partnership with what was it called? I think like Dream Ranch or something, and it was a therapy institution, kind of. Not, I don't say an institution, but a therapy camp for like veterans. And veterans would go and they would ride the horses and they would be able to just talk to the horses and get out their, emotions to the horse. And for some reason, it's amazing. The horses are, you wouldn't think so, but they're amazing therapeutic. When you said
it sounds like
horses,
it's more
I thought of that. So
yeah, it sounds like it's more the power of speech, right? Getting it out, talking about it a little bit, and that's kind of the therapy behind it. It doesn't matter who you say it to as long as you say it, right?
Absolutely. So sorry, that was a tangent. But when you said that people like to ride horses and that could be therapeutic, I immediately thought of
Yeah.
the veteran people that we worked with that do horse therapy.
Yep.
Anyway, so the tournament is May 22nd, 2023 at Valley Country Club. Was it 1 p.m. shotgun?
It's going to be a 12:30 shotgun.
12:30 shotgun, sorry. And then
No,
obviously
it's good.
lunch and dinner and everything before. Now obviously there's a variety of different ways people can participate. You have what, T signs, you have dinner sponsors, you have people who just sign up for dinner if they can't play golf, right? Yeah,
Yep.
all that stuff. You want to just hit on that stuff real quick? Just
Yeah, you can certainly sign up to come to dinner if you want. You can make a cash donation. You can have a sponsorship of any level. We have all the way from sponsoring the entire tournament to just having a T sign if you want. All the different sponsorship levels are on our website. You can read a little bit more about that, or on the event page on our Facebook page. It's broken down there as well. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me and I can point you in the right direction.
Absolutely. And we'll link the website and everything in the article as well. So people can click through there. Okay. How's your golf game? Have you played yet this year? Are you bringing the clubs
So
out? How's it going?
I've played 3 times. I've played 3 times this year. I played this past Sunday actually at Crystal Lake. So it's not very good. I'll put it out there right away. But I'm getting better. I'm a lot better than what I was. I mean, I shoot probably anywhere from 92 to 96 on average. So
Now, when you started this tournament, we played in the first one. Didn't you had just started taking up golf when you first
yeah,
started
so
this
I,
tournament,
I
pretty
only
much?
just started because of the tournament, actually. So when we got the diagnosis, I hadn't played golf at all, and I was trying to think of ideas that we could raise money with. And naturally, I went to a golf tournament because I know that that can raise some money. So when we decided to do that, I said, well, I better get some clubs and I better get out there and play before I make myself look like a jackass. Yeah, my own tournament. So I bought clubs at that time and I started playing. So I've been playing for 3 years now, and I definitely got bit by the golf bug. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Golf can do so many things. You have a relationship with golf through, this tournament, obviously, and so that's pretty cool. It's interesting. We're running tournaments. This is your third one. Just in general, what have you learned about putting together a golf tournament? Because it's always interesting to hear different people talk about trying to put events together, and we try to help people out as much as possible, obviously. But what's been the biggest challenges of running a tournament? Just in general, you don't have to throw anybody to the bus, but
Yeah,
or you can.
I mean, the challenges are pretty straightforward, like almost any business, right? It's sales. So it's selling golf, it's selling the sponsorships, it's selling all aspects of your tournament to whoever you're trying to sell it to. However, you're going to raise money, that's always the hardest part to do. So doing things like this with you today are tremendous because we're able to spread the word, get it out there in front of some people, and hopefully it speaks to a few people and they are able to register for us or sponsor the tournament. And that's awesome. But that's always the hardest part. As long as I keep myself organized throughout the year, then it becomes a lot easier, right? So I keep a spreadsheet of who I know has registered and who I know is sponsored already. So when it comes time to get things rolling, we are very well organized when it comes to our registration table. We get people through quick. So that and making sure that the country club is on time and that we have food ready on time is a big thing too, because I hate going to a tournament and waiting around for anything. I especially hate after the golf. Now you're sitting there waiting for dinner and they're reading off tickets for the raffle, right? So we do something unique where I have everybody, if they want to buy tickets beforehand for the raffle, they buy X amount of tickets. We don't hand out any physical tickets. We take their name, we plug it into an app which says, okay, they bought 20 spaces, right? So we do that with everybody. And then that app will run through and say, okay, for raffle prize 1, we pick X, and it'd say, go through the whole raffle prize. So while we're out on the course, my wife puts together a PowerPoint presentation of who won what prizes. So that way, when everybody comes in, the raffle's done. I don't have to read anything. I'm not holding anybody hostage in the reception area. And it's just, we eat dinner. They can listen to me talk for a couple minutes and then we go.
Wow, it's amazing technology. I think all places should, if they haven't already, adopt that raffle situation.
Yeah, I just find it's convenience, right? I mean, you probably know yourself from playing in these tournaments. That's probably the bane of everyone's existence, sitting there listening to all of them just read off numbers for the raffle. So
especially when you didn't win anything.
Right, exactly. So if I can make that process easier, then everybody can just look at the screen or walk up and check it as they're coming in and know if they want anything or not, pick up their prize.
It's fun when the numbers are yours. When they're not yours, it's not very fun.
Exactly.
So May 22nd, 2023, the Chase for a Cure tournament at Valley Country Club. We'll have the link on the website so you can sign up, but they're still accepting signups, sponsorships, and everything else. Lastly, before I get you out of here, it is Masters Week. It's a big, momentous week in golf, of course. Kind of signifies the start of the golf season. But who do you like in the Masters? Pick somebody.
I mean, it's hard to pick against anybody against Scotty Scheffler, right? I mean, he's just playing such good golf right now. But if there's anybody who I'm pulling for, I really like Colin Morikawa a lot. I think he's a great iron player, and I'd like to see him come through again.
All right, Colin Morikawa, you heard it there first. If Colin wins, I'll give you a GolfNewsRI t-shirt. All right.
Everybody start Venmoing me when Colin wins. Okay.
Hey, there's a way to raise money real quick.
Exactly.
Anyway, Michael, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us about the Chase for a Cure tournament, and best of luck to obviously you and your family, most notably your son Chase, as he continues to go through this process. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks a lot, Joe. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.